Hi guys, Sam Matt here at ESL1 Frankfurt 2014. I'm joined here by Evil Genius's Fear. It's nice to see you, especially in Europe. How does it feel to be attending an event again? Obviously, commiserations from myself and most of the community with your situation and this year's international.
It's good. This is the second LAN tournament I've been to as a coach. I'm looking forward to keeping up my 100% LAN win rate as a coach, but we'll see how it goes. We're doing well so far.
So, tell me about that transition. Obviously, it's come about unexpected, unplanned. How's that been for you?
I had no idea what I was doing at first. Like, I didn't know what was expected me as a coach because, like, I kind of jumped into it, like, last second. As you mentioned, it wasn't really planned at all. So I wasn't part of the team for approximately a month. I didn't talk to them very much about drafts and stuff like that. So I kind of took it slow. I just sat behind them. I just take notes of, like, mistakes they made, how they're communicating, and how they can improve. And I'm learning as I go, but slowly but surely, I'm getting pretty good at it, I think.
Okay. And how's the team's reception been to you coming on board?
Well, at first, Artur, I didn't have any plans of coaching. Like, I didn't see that as an actual thing to do.
Yeah.
But Artur asked me, like, if he wanted to coach, so I talked things over. And, I'm close to all the players. They all respect me. And that's the most important thing about being a coach. All your players have to respect you, or it's not going to work. So they do respect my decisions and what calls I make, like, how they're playing. Like, most people, if you talk to them and, like, tell them a mistake, like, I'm better than you. You can't talk to me, But they respect what I have to say, so it works out well.
So coaching is it's kind of been pretty common in the Eastern scene, but in terms of Western scene, we've seen Cloud9 pick up Clairvoyance, EG picking up you, Alliance picked up Winter. It seems to be kind of a new common factor now between the Western teams. Do you think this is purely because $10 million at the international, everyone wants to do everything they can to win it, or is it just a case of natural progression?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I think we're kind of forced to progress faster because we have, $10 million tournament coming up, but it helps a lot having the third-party point of view on how you're playing. So, yeah, coaching is a thing that I think is going to start picking up for sure.
Okay. And when you were at the summit, did you see much of Team DK's coach? Obviously Penny, 70, aka 71. Did you kind of see him in action at all? And
I've seen him around a lot. I've known 71 for a while, but unfortunately, I can't really pick up any of his tactics because he speaks Chinese. So I don't know what he's telling his team. And for me, he felt like a coach/manager, whereas we have Charlie. So I'm just like exclusively just coaching. So I mean, I haven't really picked up much from him, no, mainly because of language barrier.
Okay. So give me a rundown, like post-match from a coach's point of view.
Post-match, I just go up to them. I mean, preferably since at this event I can't sit behind them and monitor their communication, I just mainly just look at their mistakes only and just come back to them. It's like, okay, you could have done this better here, this, and this. And I just break down the mistakes and bring up suggestions of what they can change for their draft or suggestions they can make in their gameplay to just improve.
Do you think at the international this year, coaches should be allowed in the booth? Or like be at least allowed into the communications of the team? Not to speak to them, but to listen.
I think it's fair that they can listen in because, like, after the match, they can communicate, but there shouldn't be a coach in there that can actually talk to the teammates. I don't think that's fair at all. Like, we had that at TI1, and people were just writing notes behind, helping with map awareness. All players should know how to do that on their own. Okay. But listening in the communication, I think, is actually pretty important for a coach because, like, you want to know how they're thinking and how they're talking, and, like, if there's communication errors, like, sometimes after the game, you get lost in the heat of the moment, and then at the end of the game, you argue about what's wrong and right. But if I heard everything, it's like, just stop that argument. I heard you guys. You said this, There's no argument, and then you're able to fix it really quickly.
So do you tend to, is it, you focus on like morale, like areas where the team could improve on in terms of maybe mistakes made, and just, is that where it seems to be at right now?
I mean, for the most part, I just help with, like, I make sure communication's, like, on point. Like, they're talking to each other, like, everyone's constantly talking, and, like, people aren't saying useless things to bring down team morale in the middle of the match, and then after the match, bring up mistakes they make in the gameplay that they can fix on. And for the most part, that's what I do. And, of course, I help a little bit. Only recently started helping with a bit of the drafting stuff now that I know how they work a little more with Mason. So, like, it's slowly but surely I'm just becoming more of part of the team and just helping them out in every area that I can.
So in terms of your personal opinion, you're pretty happy with the team so far? Heading into the international, you guys obviously won the summit. DreamHack was a bit shaky, but obviously travel and Artesia around so late, jet lag. Honestly, he looked wrecked at the event. So, are you kind of happy with the team's direction so far?
Yeah, we're playing really well, and like we have a special talent where I feel like not a lot of teams can do this. Look, no matter how bad we play, we have a chance to win the game still. We can come back from like the most ridiculous deficits. So we have that going for us, and then when we play really well, we play really strong as well. So I think we're definitely a top contender right now for this event and coming into TI as well.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of TI, the group, the overall format for TI has obviously changed this year. Have you been able to sit down and look at that in person much?
I've seen the format.
And are you happy with it? Is that more to your taste, or would you prefer the older format, or?
I think it's a little harsh this year, to be honest with you. Like, since 8 teams get eliminated before the actual event even starts. But, I mean, I don't know. I think it's the old format where group stages didn't matter at all, wasn't good. But I think this one, group stages matter too much. So, I don't know. I'd like something a little more in between, but that's just me.
Which teams do you reckon are going to really struggle with this new group format?
Whatever teams go through the wild card, I think, are definitely going to struggle. I mean, that's how it goes most of the time. They didn't qualify usually for a reason because it was questionable. It wasn't a direct invite, so it's going to be harder for them. I don't know. Other teams that may struggle through it, Mal Sports seems to be struggling a little bit too against a lot of teams as well. They have a predictable play style going into it. Fnatic, I don't even know who's going to TI for Fnatic at this point, but if they go with Era, they might have some problems because they haven't played with them in a very long time. Yeah. But outside of that, I don't know. All teams like can beat each other. It's hard to say.
From a professional player's point of view, and you've been around in Dota for so long now, and the whole Fnatic situation, I don't know if you've been able to read everything that's been put out there, but
Not everything.
I mean, from another pro player's perspective, how have you read into that and read the situation?
I mean, I just know the very basics of it right now. It's like Era, I think the last statement he said, he just says he isn't going to go. Was that what it is?
He said he could go, and then obviously he reconsidered due to his health.
Right, okay.
And then it's going well, there's a lot more factors to it, but obviously if you haven't read all into it, then, but I mean, obviously playing the entire year and then not being able to attend the international is that something that almost makes you reconsider your career?
I mean, it does suck. Obviously, I was in the same position, but like, I don't know. At the same time, you don't want to hurt the team's chances as well because like they haven't played with Era for a very long time. It's like me jumping back into EG right now. It's like they would do worse. Just simply put, they would do worse because I haven't played with them for months. So like it's a really tough situation because he deserves to go because he played all year. But if he does go, he might screw the whole team over, the other 4 players, because they've been practicing with someone else and they've been having better results. And TI is so close, they can't just train with him right now and get back to the level where they are now.
So speaking of yourself personally, what's the current status on your injury?
It's getting a lot better, but the main reason I don't want to play again is because like I don't know when it could come back. If I come back too early and re-injure myself, I will really regret that, and that might even put me out for the next season. So I think it's better that I just rest for now, but it's definitely improving.
So you definitely want to come back, and
yeah, after TI, I'd like to play again.
Okay, that's good to hear. Now, obviously, you stream pubs when you can, and some people say, like, oh, look, he's playing a pub game, why is he not playing TI? I mean, from our point of view, it's pretty obvious, but do you want to just make it clear to the community, like, why that difference exists?
Yeah, basically, I kind of just explained it. It's like, I don't know if my injury will come back for the most part. Like, it can come back at any moment. It requires you to play at least 8 to 10 hours before TI a day. So that's how intense the training is right now. And I don't know if I can do that right now. And most likely I can't. If I start playing that much again, I could do serious damage to my arm if I play that much. And if I do have a relapse in my arm, I could just screw over the 4 players on my team and they wouldn't be able to compete at TI either. So like, it's just not worth the risk right now for anyone.
And you've obviously been staying in Europe. When did you arrive in Europe?
Right after DreamHack I came. So I've been here for about a little over a week.
So how was the team doing when obviously DreamHack was not the best situation. Did you require quite a bit of work there to get them back up to scratch and, in terms of morale?
No, I don't think we get affected too heavily by little things. Like, we don't get too happy over wins. We don't get too mad over losses. I mean, we do get more mad over losses, but still, like, We bounced back pretty quickly. It just took a couple scrims afterwards, and like as you saw, everyone was like, they just narrowed it down to like it was jet lag for the most part for a lot of the players, and adjusting to that. We have a lot of players who haven't traveled internationally before, so it's just a lot of adjusting to do.
So your plan for TI, are you guys staying in Europe and then heading over to Seattle?
Oh yeah, I think we're boot camping here in Germany until Seattle, so we will be here boot camping.
And when do you arrive in Seattle?
I think we come on the 6th or 7th, something like that.
Okay. And obviously, before I let you go, you still have a huge fan base and plenty of sponsors you want to thank. So.
Yeah, well, shout out to all my fans right now, and I haven't kept the entire list of sponsors, but Monster, Razer, Kingston HyperX, and BinQ.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, no problem.